and undeveloped land has always been a lucrative investment, as it can be used for many motives, such as residential and commercial development, cropland and livestock raising, vineyards and orchards, as well as other recreational activities. However, buying land overseas can be quite a daunting task, especially for those investors undergoing such a venture for the first time, with different regulations and taxations, as well as different specifications and restrictions for who can outright own the land. So as a whole, investing in foreign land can be very time-consuming with heaps of paperwork and bureaucracy. Nevertheless, there are lots of countries where it's still possible for overseas citizens to buy land at a nominal rate. But bear in mind, the price of land varies greatly considering what the investor is looking for. For example, if it's for farming motives, arable land will always cost more than barren land, while those looking to buy for residential or commercial development, land in close proximity to affluent areas, especially near urban centers, is a lot more expensive than in rural areas. Number 8. USA. Even though USA might not be the first country that comes to mind when thinking about the cheapest countries to buy land, but still, there are many places in the southern and eastern parts of the United States where one can get land for as low as $900 per acre. States like Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, New Mexico, and a couple others harbor pristine prairies, lush meadows, as well as open farmland for homesteading, cultivating, timber production, or just plain and simple living. These places serve as a good retreat from the hectic and monotonous life in the country's urban centers, and people are increasingly more open to living out in the countryside, making this a very wise and appreciating investment. Coupled with the fact that USA has certain extensive property protection laws, as well as the low property tax brackets on this side of the country, it's great for someone considering to acquire cheap land without moving. Number 7. Romania. Full of diverse landscapes, castles, vineyards, open pastures, plains, forest areas, and urban sectors that provide a medieval touch, Romania is slowly, gradually gaining traction. The country allows non-Romanian citizens to freely invest in, purchase, and sell residential land. However, it's still the only country on this list that does not allow non-EU nationals to buy vacant land. But there is a way to get around this by registering a company, or just by buying land through a third party. Although the northern regions of the country have a lot more expensive land options, with an acre of land costing up to $5,000, the southern regions are a lot cheaper, where 1 acre of cultivatable land can cost just under $1,000. Number 6. Montenegro. Huddled in the eastern side of the Adriatic Sea, Montenegro has always provided safe and affordable investment opportunities to foreign nationals. Despite the fact that most of the country is mountainous, there's still enough vacant land to fuel any needs, be it for agricultural, commercial, residential, and even recreational. Although foreigners are allowed full freedom to purchase and sell residential land in Montenegro, there are still some restrictions when it comes to acquisition of certain types of agricultural land. But nonetheless, there are many ways to get around this law and acquire any type of land legally by simply registering a company. When it comes to the median prices, the cheapest regions are the central and northern regions, away from the coastline in the interior part, with prices as low as $1,000 per acre, making it a great contender for land investment. But keep in mind, it's always recommended to hire a reputable realtor and lawyer when purchasing land in Montenegro. Number 5. Croatia. Right beside Montenegro, Croatia is another Adriatic gem with a coastline extending almost 1,800 kilometers. It's home to mostly barren mountainous terrain and rocky, unfertile soil that can hardly support any large-scale agriculture. However, just because its land isn't suitable for major crops, it doesn't mean it can't be used for other purposes, like homestead, recreational, or vacation property. In recent years, the country has seen an influx of foreign buyers, with the main point of interest being its coastal region of Dalmatia and Istria. Due to this, land and overall property prices in the country are on a rising trajectory, but better yet, there are still affordable areas to acquire vacant land in its interior parts. Additionally, Croatia offers free rein to most foreigners who want to buy residential, agricultural, or even plots of land on its islands. Owing to the cheap rates, the hospitality, lack of restrictions in purchasing property, as well as a homely feeling, Croatia is a great pick for investing in land. Number 4. Argentina. Located in the southernmost part of Latin America, Argentina is a country decorated with miles upon miles of open plains, as well as forest areas, rivers, and a beautiful coastline. It's a solid place for those looking for cheap, safe, workable, and appreciating land in Latin America. Foreigners are free to purchase, develop, or sell property in the country, provided that the area does not fall under the ownership of the government. Although the areas around Buenos Aires may harbor land and residential property that is out of reach of even most affluent investors, some areas, such as Santa Fe and Mendoza, possess land that can go for as low as $1,200 per acre. Plus, the country is teetering on another major currency adjustment, so those dealing in dollars can benefit from the prolific currency conversion rates. Number 3. Albania. Owning its miles of serene and beautiful coastline, beachfront land, as well as arable agricultural land in the interior parts, Albania has been getting lots of attention lately for its affordable investment potential. Land prices near the vicinity of its great urban areas like Tirana, Saranda, and Vlore might be a bit high due to a large influx in tourism with land development for housing and apartment complexes, but prices for land are still far less when compared to many others in this region. On top of this, most of the land prices in the coastal parts of the country are increasing day by day and is expected to appreciate even more. Apart from the coastal parts, it has heaps of vacant land further inland for a much cheaper price. The property and land ownership taxes in Albania are also the third lowest in Europe. However, it's highly recommended to hire a credible realtor before making the move. Number 2. Turkey. Despite its uncertainties, Turkey still receives a considerable amount of foreign investments. In fact, it's still one of the best cheap countries to invest in all manners of property, be it residential, recreational, commercial, or agricultural. Mostly containing mountainous regions in the interior parts, the majority of the valuable, vacant land is located on its fringes near the western parts, as all three of its sides are surrounded by sea with a coastline exceeding 8,500 kilometers, making it a prime candidate for purchasing beachside land. Foreigners are free to buy here and hold titles in their own names, but there are certain zones, especially in southeastern parts, where foreign nationals are prohibited to buy, while land in its remote areas in the central region can go as low as $900 to $1,400 per acre. Number 1. Bulgaria. Although not as flashy as the rest of the entries on this list, Bulgaria is a Balkan country that offers one of the most peaceful environments on this side of Europe. It also possesses lots of untapped agricultural farmland that is a lot cheaper than other entries on this list, as well as being equally arable. The same goes for residential property, with some regions like Sofia, Varna, and Plovdiv having renovated residential property for a much cheaper price than other countries in Europe.